Tired of feeling like you're spinning all the plates in your design business and at any moment they could all come crashing down? Are you feeling like you're so close to breaking through to the next level, but those consistent projects still aren't flowing your way? Are you ready to finally take your business from a hobby to 100K and beyond? Then welcome to the Six Figure Designer Podcast. I'm talking all the techniques you need in your design business to start paying yourself, get great clients, and finally break through that 5-figure ceiling. Do you ever think to yourself, I am so effing over it. Running a business is just too hard. I'm killing myself for my clients and I'm not even making any money. Maybe you're burning through money the client has paid you long before the project has even ended. Or even worse, you're not getting paid at all until they order something, which could be months from now. It's a constant cycle of money in, money out, but none of that's really coming your way. Is that why you started a business to begin with? I'm thinking you started one to create some financial stability while doing the thing that you love and helping people at the same time. So don't get me wrong. I know you're spending money in what you think are the right places. Money going to all the trade shows. Money spent on getting a new certification. Money spent on magazine ads and time. Let's not even talk about how much time you're putting into your social media and the countless hours that you're never getting back there. So you're doing all the right things that you think great designers should do, but you're still not making very much money. So what's the problem? When does the payback come in? When does it all get easier? When do you get to design? Why aren't you making any money? So let's talk a little bit about why this is happening. There are 3 major mistakes I see designers doing that are making it so much harder for them to be successful. Full disclosure, I used to do all these things too, so you're not alone. But it just doesn't have to be that hard. So let me tell you about a mistake I made when I first started my business. Right in the beginning, I made almost no money at the end of that year. I was struggling to grow my business and I went to the trade shows. And while, of course, the ticket to the show was free, I spent a ton of money on airfare, hotel, food, all the incidentals that you go and spend while you're gone out of the office, not to mention being out of the office for several days. So I walked around the show for a few days and met up with some designer friends. I got to discover some cool new products, and I even met some famous designers. I was totally inspired when I left the show to go home. But after a few weeks, I realized I just spent thousands of dollars and the phone is still not ringing. I don't have any projects. Now, I know you need to go to shows and stay up on the latest introductions, but that doesn't make you a successful designer. I needed to figure out how to make my business profitable. I thought to myself, there has got to be a better way. So let me tell you about a client of mine that's in my Designer Biz Boost Camp. I have a new session coming up in a couple weeks, and I'll tell you about that next time. But here's the second mistake I see so many designers making all the time. Jenna had been a designer forever, but had recently started her own business. So in an effort to provide the very best customer service, she was answering every email and call and text that came in from a client or her contractor the moment it arrived. And so she was feeling scattered and overwhelmed, and she could never get anything accomplished. Gee, I wonder why, right? I did that too. And let me tell you, you don't realize how much time you're wasting and literally burning profit by doing it this way. And this brings me to the third mistake that I see that's costing you profit in your business. I think I made this one for over 10 years before I figured out how not to do it anymore. It was posting just job site photos and befores and afters every single day on social media. I spent so much time thinking about what picture to use, what to say, research the hashtags that were going to make this thing go viral, right? And then there was the scheduling, constantly watching to see how many likes and comments that I got. So you don't realize how many hours you're spending on this one aspect of your business, which may or may not be bringing in business. It may or may not be working. What's the cost of that? Not to mention the psychological aspect of scrolling others' feeds, thinking they have better work, they're doing more than you. It's a never-ending cycle. What if those hours were spent working on something that generated great leads to your business? You'd be okay with spending that time, right? What if instead you thought about your best referral sources and spent those hours cultivating that aspect of your business? So my client Emily, who's in my Designer Biz Bootcamp, it starts in a couple weeks. This was one of the first things I helped her with. I helped her stop spending time on getting caught up in the posting and instead showed her my framework and my toolkit on how to connect with her local referral sources like realtors, builders, and vendors. So she went from getting 1 to 2 leads a week to 4 or more. So if you'd like to join me on my next cohort of the Designer Biz Bootcamp, there's a sign-up page in the show notes. Next week, I'm interviewing Robin, who is a website designer, and she's going to help you bring a lot more curb appeal to your website. We're going to talk about one small change that you can make that's going to make a huge difference in the quality of leads you attract. See you soon. Thanks for listening to the Six Figure Designer Podcast. If you're ready to make 6 figures in your interior design business, then check out my Design Business Bootcamp. Our next session starts soon, so let's get you to 6 figures stat.